The switchbacks that you are seeing right now are located on Highway 89A, just south of Flagstaff, Arizona. The drive through the switchbacks is 2 miles long, and it's around the neighborhood of an 800-foot drop in elevation, or 243 meters on the metric system. Every second of this drive is quite captivating, with mesmerizing views of Mother Nature around every hairpin turn. Now, I've talked to many tourists over the years, and they have said this was a dream drive, one that they couldn't wait to do, while others have stated that it's a drive they will never do again. I really don't think it's that bad of a drive, but if you do have a fear of heights, you may have a different opinion. I've also been told that the experience of the drive is contingent on whether you're in the driver's seat, passenger seat, or driving an RV, in which case, if you're driving an RV, I could see how that would be one butt-puckering drive, so plan accordingly. And for those of you that might be wondering, what's up with the traffic jam? Well, currently there is construction taking place out here on certain parts of the road. The road is not closed, but if you do plan on coming out here anytime soon, just expect delays. I filmed this video on the weekend and traffic was backed up. Like me after having too much Taco Bell, although I blame the nacho cheese. "89A going from Flagstaff to Sedona is only a small portion of the entire highway. Here's a little history. Highway 89A is an 83-mile state highway that runs from Prescott to... Is it Prescott or Prescott? Fuck it, who knows? That seems to be a debate that will never end. Anyways, it's an 83-mile long highway that runs from Prescott to Flagstaff, Arizona. Highway 89 was built in the early 1900s and was formerly known as Highway 79. By 1926, it was paved and widened from Prescott to Clarkdale, and then by 1929, it had been extended north to Sedona. And according to PrescottImportCar.com, it was eventually expanded into Flagstaff, and by 1939, the entire road was paved from Prescott to Flagstaff. Typically, this is a pretty fun drive, but when you factor in delays due to construction and an RV that was 4 vehicles ahead of me that was moving slower than the line at the DMV, it tends to get under your skin. However, it's important to remember that not everyone does this drive on the regular, but if you are going to drive like a grandma that has to take in the sights while driving, once you are out of the construction zone, please safely pull over when there is room and let everyone else pass, for the love of God. At this point in our journey, we have successfully made it down the switchbacks without having an episode of road rage. Now we'll journey through Oak Creek Canyon and make a couple of stops along the way. I had plans to capture more footage of the canyon on my drone, but unfortunately it became really windy, and my drone, canyons, and wind don't necessarily have the best history. Kinda like my stomach, drugs, and alcohol, but that's a story for not another day. However, I was able to capture this clip before I landed. And these are the types of views that one could expect for the next 9 miles. These canyon walls can range anywhere from 800 to 2,000 feet tall. And after thinking about it for a minute, maybe it's a good thing that I landed. I do enjoy showing everyone the Arizona landscapes, but sometimes you gotta leave a little bit of mystery. And regardless of what I show you on my drone, seeing it in person is an entirely different experience. But if anyone watching ever makes the delightful trip out here, just know that throughout the area, there are many places to camp, hike, get a bite to eat, and many pull-out areas so you can hike down to the creek and play in the water. Before we make our way into Sedona, I wanted to show you guys another attraction worth stopping in at. This place is called Slide Rock State Park, and aside from the gorgeous views of the canyon walls, this park is known for its naturally formed water slides. You see, over time, water has carved out these smooth surfaces on the rock, and with a little water, you can enjoy a nice ride down the creek. Now, this specific day, I didn't film down by the water, mainly because I didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable as I was lugging around a camera and a tripod. But the clips I've been showing you were from 2019. And if you do come here during the summer months, I would recommend coming during the weekdays, as this place gets extremely packed on the weekends, and the wait time to get into the park can easily exceed 1 hour. And if you thought the line at the DMV was bad, psh, this one isn't any better. On a side note, I wouldn't even come here during the summer. I would wait until mid-fall when the leaves are changing colors. You really get that cool, cozy fall feeling, and the variety of colors throughout the park is astonishing. Now, you may or may not be able to go swimming depending on how cold the water is, but I don't know what to tell you. Find a hotel. There's dozens of them in the area. The bridge that you are seeing right now is called Midgley Bridge. According to az.gov, excavation of the canyon walls began in 1938 for foundation placement, and the bridge was fully completed by 1939, which was also the same year The Wizard of Oz was released. No relevancy, just a fun fact. Just before we get into Sedona, I actually wanted to hike down into the canyon because about 3 or 4 years ago I went for a hike down here and I found what appeared to be the frame of an old vehicle. And this is an amazing hike in the fall. It's just like bursting with color. So before we head into Sedona, we're gonna hike down in the canyon, take a look, and see what we can find. After 15 minutes of hiking, I was about ready to throw in the towel, as I couldn't pinpoint where this old car wreck was. But just as I was getting ready to turn around, I found this instead. Now, I have no idea what this is or what it belonged to. All I know is that it was made in the USA, America. But if you have any idea of what it might be, feel free to let us know down in the comments section. And not too far from this, I made another discovery. This one was partially embedded into the ground, but it kind of looked like the top half of a car door, like where the window would be. And not too far from this, I did find a piece of sheet metal. But aside from that, I looked around for a few more minutes and I didn't find anything else in the vicinity. So I decided to head back to my car and continue on. Sedona is one of the best tourist destinations in all of Arizona, for obvious reasons. Everywhere you look, there really isn't a bad view. The town is completely surrounded by red rock buttes and stunning geological formations. And here's another fun fact for you. This rock formation that you see right here is called Snoopy Rock, and it's supposed to resemble Snoopy lying on his back. Do you see it? Now, I was very hesitant to fly my drone here, which is the DJI Mini 4 Pro, if anyone is wondering. But the reason why I was so hesitant was because I've read literature that states you cannot fly drones here and that it is a no-fly zone. But at the same time, I've also read other articles online that contradict this. Now, I won't go into too much detail and bore you guys on the subject, but after making a few phone calls, I was told that I could, but I had to exercise a lot of caution and keep an eye out for any other aircraft that might be in the surrounding area. And of course, this is a little bit of what I captured. Another fascinating geological formation that wasn't too far from us was the site known as Praying Hands, and it's one of the most visited locations in Sedona. And not too far from Praying Hands is the Chapel of the Holy Cross, which is a Roman Catholic chapel that was built into the Red Rock Buttes in the mid 1950s. Now, being that this is such a sacred location and place of worship, I didn't want to fly my drone in the area and spoil everyone's time. Instead, I decided to drive over for a closer look. It is a relatively short walk from the parking lot all the way up to the chapel, depending on how busy it is. But once you're up there, you're able to get some pretty incredible panoramic views of the entire area. I was just getting ready to wrap up the video as I was leaving Sedona, but as I was leaving, I remembered there's a relic of the past not too far off of the highway, and it's right behind me here. From what I recall, it's a bridge that dates back to the 1920s, so we're gonna go check it out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the bridge right in front of us. You can see where part of the road has completely eroded away. I've been out here probably 5 or 6 times, and one time I came out here right after Sedona, well, the surrounding area, got hit with a bunch of rain, and water was just gushing all through here. I had a really tough time finding any information on the background of this bridge, and if I wasn't in such a time crunch, I would have stopped at a museum in Sedona or asked a park ranger, but life happens. The information I did find was provided from the description of a stock photo website, and it stated the following: the remains of the old Dry Beaver Creek Bridge near Sedona, Arizona. This old bridge was built before 1935. When State Route 179 was built in 1962, it was left to decay. I'm gonna see if I can find old photos of this on the internet, because then the road would have started back there by the Red Rock Scenic Byway sign, I think. And then it would have come all the way over here, over the dam, picks up right here, and then gone over the bridge. And then you can kind of see the road a little bit back there. I'll fly over the entire area for you guys, so that way you can kind of get a bird's eye view. Now, if anyone watching this video is from the area or can provide any additional information, please feel free to share with us in the comments section down below. Maybe in the future I can do another video where I can shed a little more light on the subject. And if this bridge could talk, I bet it could tell us some amazing stories. And if you do want to see more scenic road adventures that I've made, all you gotta do is tap that playlist in the upper left-hand corner.